Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be following up the Elder's Mark video that we had with the Holy Fire, so let's crack on with it. So seeing as in the previous video we went over how to acquire the Elder's Mark, which is the exact same way you acquire the Holy Fire. It's all down to RNG, and if you're blessed on that run with Beast of Burden, if you'll acquire the weapon you are looking for. So I thought, why not just skip that whole process? If you want to check out that previous video, you can, but it is the event Beast of Burden where you have to go to acquire it. So with that out the way, let's check out the 3 modifications we can put it on this weapon. So first of all, we can fiddle around with the tank. I have here the napalm tank that basically gives you a better burn rate. So within 5 seconds, I'm doing 338 burn damage on top of the 132 damage that we do. We also gain more damage just with the napalm tank. Highly recommended you slap it on there. It does give it a 3.6 weight increase, just something to take note of, but hey, I'm here for the damage, so there we go. Next, we have the barrel. Now I can opt to choose the standard barrel over the long barrel. Not only is the long barrel significantly heavier, but it also we also lose 7 VATS accuracy. But for me, with the flamer type weapon systems, range is one of the deficits, you can say, with the weapon systems. It pushes you to getting close just so you can apply that damage. So I actually opted out the long barrel just to mainly test it out, but also just to get that extra bit of range. Next, we have the propellant. We have a large propellant tank and a huge propellant tank, and this basically will increase the capacity of the fuel you can hold per mag or whatever, per tank canister, I guess you can call it, before you have to reload. Now, seeing as I am a VATS build, I try and keep the same build for all my weapon videos just to keep things concise. We will be opting for the standard, just mainly because we are losing out on AP cost with that. So next up here, we're going to be talking about the fuel. Now, fuel is one of the more expensive ammunitions to get. It's going to require 10 acid, 5 oil, and 2 steel, and you don't really get a whole lot of it. So definitely recommend getting all of the cards and everything you can get to maximize the amount of fuel you acquire. At least for the Holy Fire, it's not as bad, but when you start stepping into things like the Cremator, if you're newer to the game, you're going to find that your fuel will be hemorrhaged heavily when using that weapon system. So just something to take note of. All right, so before we test out the Holy Fire weapon system, there is something I forgot to mention, which is how to acquire the mods for the Holy Fire. You're going to have to grab some flamers, craft them up if you can, and scrap them. It's a 15% chance if you get a mod whenever you scrap a flamer, so just keep that in mind if you're looking for the mod still. So with that all out of the way, first things first, let's check out the recoil. Now this thing pretty much has 0 recoil. As you can see, I mean, it does move around a little bit, but it's really not difficult to manage whatsoever, especially if you want to get into your heavy power armor stuff. Anyway, with that all out the way, one thing to take note of, this thing can shoot fairly far away for a flamer weapon, which is actually pretty nice. I think they see me. You don't see me. You don't see me. And then another thing to take note of is that the Holy Fire actually has a little perk to it where the base burn damage is 9 over 3 seconds on the flamer, unless it got changed recently, and then the Holy Fire is 18. So something just to take note of with that as well. You do get that extra bit of burn damage coming out from it. With that all out the way, let's go slay some super mutants. So this thing that we have, actually, hold on. Ooh, they didn't see me there. I should actually take note of the weapon system we are using here. This is a anti-armor with 25% weapon speed and 25% action point cost minus, which gives us that nice 23 AP cost, as I am in a VATS build. Now, this is a roll that my wife got. She used, I think it was like 5,000 script for me. Very handy to have a wife there to feed her script to you. I'm just going to throw that out there. Without all that out the way, let's go now slay some super mutants. And this thing is a monster. Like, it really... Oh, he didn't die to that. It's just an absolute monster. I don't know. Look at that. He has no clue. Hi. No, I blew myself up. Okay, we're back. Now, I might have gotten a little overly excited about the Holy Fire. I don't use it too much, but I do love this weapon system. We'll try our best not to blow ourselves up. But you never know. You never know what will happen in the lands of Fallout. Right, so let's get this done. Yeah, you can just see how it just absolutely deletes these. I feel it's just a little unfair, really, this weapon system. Let's pop inside and we'll continue the Slaughterfest. All right, we're inside. So out of all the Flamey Boy weapon systems that we have in game, the Holy Fire, I want to say, is my favorite. It just has really good reach. The blue flame looks awesome. The damage is phenomenal. I mean, that guy couldn't even move. It was just like, and dead. And then he just flopped to the floor. And with this anti-armor variant that I have here, it is really good. Now, if I could get a bloodied one, I would, but this is definitely not the one I'm going to roll. And this is just a phenomenal roll. All in all, having that attack speed with it. Now, the minus 25% AP cost, now that's obviously not mandatory. And I'm not saying go out and look for that. You can definitely get something else. But it's what I got with this roll, and I at the time didn't want to roll it again. Would I change it? I don't know. I think I'd rather just try and get a bloodied one going at this point. I think this is pretty good where it's at. But you can just see how how this thing just melts. Just absolutely eviscerates. It's like you hold down the trigger for all of about a second. And I'm not even going to use VATS here. All of about a second, and it's just a delete button, pretty much in a nutshell. So that was some body shots there. Just, you know, survives a little bit longer. I tagged this guy here. Ooh, it's legendary. And the burn actually killed it. So you do get, like, I think it's 338 or something ridiculous burn over a space of 5 seconds, which is really nice. So you can sort of just spray and they should die. No? But there we go. You know, a little bit more juice on that one. But they're struggling to find me because I am in a stealth build. I do like stealth builds because, especially for non-event things, because I'm not being pre-aimed consistently by AI, and I can kind of just wander around and do what I want. You also get that extra damage from stealth, so that initial hit does a little bit extra damage. Ooh, another legendary. Wow, we're lucky today, huh? Pop a stim just for the regen. And that's another thing about this, is it is phenomenal when it comes down to mowing stuff down. Ooh, it is blasting me. Show yourself. I think he's up here. Yep. Another legendary. That's 4? I'll be up. Let me get the goods. It's crazy. 4 legendaries in one run. Very interesting. Anyway, back to it. Back to the gun. Back to the weapon system. Yeah, this thing, when you're being overwhelmed, the Holy Fire will always be there to get you out of sticky situations. It really does. It just has that. You just hold it down and things start just eviscerating. The weapon system not only is good for just clearing out you know, super mutants and stuff like that. It's actually a really good... Wow. Okay. Wasn't aiming to kill him, but he died. It's also really good at boss slaying, especially if you get like an anti-armor variant. There's a lot of bosses you'll be able to do a serious amount of damage to. A phenomenal amount of damage to with this weapon system. And compared to something like the Cremator, which hits like an absolute freight train. But the problem with the Cremator is that it just hemorrhages ammunition. And you also, if I'm not mistaken, it's isn't it like 10 shots before you reload? I'd have to check it out again. I do have an anti-armor one somewhere. I did give it a little bit of a go, but maybe the next video we'll give it a good go, and see how it fares. But yeah, the Cremator does hemorrhage through ammunition, which was the only thing I didn't like. I do like to hoard my materials, even though I have so many. I'm a little bit of a hoarder, that is for sure. Right, let's finish up here. I think everyone gets the gist of this weapon. It is you don't see your friend just being hooked there, burnt. Let's just do a so sometimes I like to just quickly loot as I go, just so I don't have to sit there for too long and get ganked by something and get one shot, because I am inevitably in a one-shot build. So with that, I think we can conclude this video. And that will conclude this video. I hope it helped you guys out. I hope it was informative, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did using this weapon system. It is one of my favorite weapons. I just do not use it enough, and I feel sad about that. But I am more of a rifle user, so it just doesn't really fit that. But whenever I take out my heavy weapons, this is always a staple within my heavy weapon loadout. This thing is a boss slaying machine, as well as just an everyday carry. It also has that just really nice range to its flame. So a lot of people actually like to use the Holy Fire because of that. Another thing is you won't be hemorrhaging fuel like you would with the Cremator, which I think we'll be checking out in the next video. So with that all out the way, cheers all for joining me. Thanks all for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next one.